a listen to this short clip from Schoenberg's Little Piano Pieces, number 6. I love this piece. When I heard it for the first time, I knew I liked it. I enjoyed listening to it. I didn't think about why I liked it or how it made me feel. I just liked it. I made a pre-rational aesthetic judgment, just as I'm sure many of you did here today. Whether you loved it or hated it is completely up to you. I'm not sure anyone could convince me not to like this music. A critic could tell me the harmony or the rhythm doesn't work, but that wouldn't change the fact that I just like it. That's because my experience involved emotions. I know what I like when I hear it, and that value comes from the fact that it evokes emotions in me. I felt immediately excited by it. Music is a unique art form. Our emotional response to music is innate. Unlike other art forms where you develop your appreciation for it, music is innate. Babies respond with excitement to classical music but even before they learn to speak. Music is the only art form we connect with on an emotional level from day dot. Whenever we encounter music in our lives, with however much or little knowledge we have of music theory, we engage. The question is, why does music do this? Why is it calming? Why does music make us smile or cry? How does music evoke these emotions we so often feel? In many other art forms, it's more obvious why we respond in the way we do. For some forms of art and literature, for example, are representational. When you see Van Gogh's Starry Night, the blue swirls and the yellow dots represent the turbulent sky and the hope we get from the stars. Representational art forms portray things that exist in the world of experience. Our minds make the connection to those emotions we feel in the real world. On the other hand, music's ephemeral nature and its ability to express the inexpressible makes it a very different aesthetic judgment. Thinkers like Pythagoras, yes, the man who taught us all about triangles, saw the purpose of music as the same as maths. They viewed music as a branch of maths. Pythagoras himself said, "There is geometry in the humming of the strings. There is music in the spacing of the spheres." It is true that music of all genres and subgenres can be reduced to formulae. The patterns of music are intimately tied to mathematics, pitch, rhythm, harmony, etc. However, there is more to music than simply maths. Music's obvious effect on the listener goes beyond what is explainable using reductionist tools like maths and music theory. The modern interpretation of music has come to be a more human-centered understanding, an understanding that music's purpose is the emotion it creates. Maths is certainly involved in music, but it holds the place of calculating means to audible ends, meaning the actual purpose of music is the evoking of emotions. Since the Romantic period, musicians and theorists have argued that musically expressed emotions cannot be conveyed in the same way using rational concepts or words. Instead, music is understood as a mode of communication in itself. Many of you will have heard music being spoken of as a language. However, I think this metaphor falls short in explaining the power of music's expressiveness. Music as a language doesn't work. We don't speak music. We don't gossip, order a meal, or talk about politics over the dinner table in music. Most importantly, languages are translatable. This sentence said in Dutch and English sounds completely different, but has the exact same meaning. Music is not interchangeable or translatable, though. Two pieces of music could attempt to portray very similar emotions, but sound completely different and take us on a different emotional journey. This is because emotions are far more complex than words' meanings. The question still remains then, how does music express emotions? In an attempt to answer this problem, I'm going to explain 4 theories. There are many other opinions surrounding this topic, but I think they all boil down to these 4. Firstly, expression theory is the idea that music expresses the emotions of the composer. Music itself is the expression of emotions. It's the conveyance of whatever the composer is feeling as they are writing it. This seems pretty logical, right? If a composer was feeling in love when they were writing, they would write a sweet, gentle, or even passionate piece. But actually, I think it's entirely possible for a composer to write about an emotion they're not feeling in the moment. I know the qualities in music that make it sad, so theoretically, I could write a really sad piece of music. This leads me to a theory called associationism. This is the theory that music's expressiveness comes from conventional or cultural associations of certain musical elements with certain emotional states. For example, most commonly, slow tempo is associated with sadness. This could be mournfulness, which I would write with a high legato violin melody, or anguish, for which I would use a dramatic minor key. So this theory focuses on the musical elements themselves, but the stimulation theory focuses on you. You, the audience, are the ones feeling the emotions. This theory, in its simplest form, is the claim that music's expressiveness comes from its ability to induce emotions in an understanding audience. Our response to music is not always empathetic. In fact, most of the time it isn't. We're not always feeling on a deep level every emotion expressed in the music. But our human experience allows us to understand the emotion expressed and relate to it on a sympathetic level. What happens then when we bring imagination into the equation? The imaginative response theory suggests that music's expressiveness relies on the listener's imagination, rather than the resemblance between music and emotional behavior. Music does not inherently possess emotional qualities, but rather evokes emotions through triggering an imaginative response within us. Music serves as a blank canvas upon which we project emotions and meaning. So, this theory, taken in an exclusive way, seems to contradict all of the other theories. How could we simply rely on imagination and not take into account the music itself? But I don't think any of these theories fully explain the breadth of ways music evokes emotions within us. Our response to music depends on a multitude of circumstances: how imaginative we are, how tired we are, our emotional state, and our openness to new genres of music. Yes, the composer's emotions dictate the expressiveness of the music. Yes, the musical elements hold emotional power. And yes, the audience's disposition is vital. So all of these theories together seem to contribute to explaining music's expressiveness, but it somehow remains a mystery. I don't know what the mix or balance of these theories is. I don't know how each and every person reacts to music in their own nuanced way. That's what makes it a mystery. So, is this really a problem? We don't know how music works in expressing emotions, but we don't need to know. It works. It works for our well-being and our happiness. It just works. In fact, it's a good thing that we can't explain music using music theory and maths. It's inexplicable and complex, just like the human mind. Emotions are human. Music is human. Thank you.